Donald Trump walks into Chase Manhattan Bank on a Tuesday morning in 1975, carrying a black leather briefcase containing blueprints for a 400-room hotel. A senior banker looks at him across the mahogany desk and says, "Mr. Trump, you're 29 years old. Come back when you're serious." What happens in the next 90 days doesn't just prove the banker wrong. It builds the foundation of a real estate empire that changes Manhattan's skyline forever. New York City, June 1975, Tuesday morning, 9:30 a.m. Chase Manhattan Bank's headquarters sits on the 42nd floor of a 60-story glass and steel giant on Park Avenue. Outside, the city is gearing up for summer heat. Sunlight hits the glass surfaces, streets already choked with traffic, taxi horns blaring, construction noise rumbling, the sound of a million people rushing in a million different directions. Inside the bank building, it's a different world. Silent, controlled, air-conditioned to the point of sterile. Marble floors polished so bright you can see your reflection as you walk. Crystal chandeliers hang from the ceiling, thousands of dollars of lighting. But their real purpose isn't illumination. It's power, prestige, if you're here to talk to someone important. This place is designed to make you feel small. Donald Trump steps off the elevator. 29 years old, 6 feet tall, wearing a light blue suit, perfect tailoring, silk tie, leather shoes polished so clean the chandelier lights dance across them. His hair is swept back, held in place with light gel. In his hand, a black leather briefcase containing plans that could change Manhattan's future. He looks young, younger than the other people here. The men waiting in the lobby 50s, 60s, gray-haired, experienced. Serious faces their standard here. Trump is different. His energy is different. His walk is different. He has confidence, but not arrogance. He just knows his own value. The receptionist smiles politely. "Mr. Trump, Mr. Morrison is expecting you. Room for 1207, end of the hall on the right." Trump thanks her, enters the corridor. The walls are dark wood paneling, the floor thick carpet, footsteps swallowed. Each office door has a nameplate, gold lettering. Vice presidents, regional directors, senior loan officers. Each name represents a career, decades of banking experience. Room for 1207. Engraved on the door, Richard Morrison, Director of Commercial Lending. Trump knocks lightly. A thick, authoritative voice from inside. "Comin'." Trump opens the door. The office is large. Massive windows overlooking Park Avenue, 42 floors up. Manhattan traffic looking like toy cars below. The back wall displays framed university diplomas, Yale, Wharton MBA, banking awards, success photos, Morrison shaking hands with presidents, senators, famous businessmen. These walls tell you, if you're talking to this man, he's above you. Richard Morrison is mid-50s, graying hair, slightly overweight, that classic banker-type conservative navy suit. Red tie, gold cufflinks, Rolex on his wrist. His face isn't impressive, ordinary, but his eyes are sharp. Eyes that have seen thousands of loan applications. Eyes that know at a glance which applications deserve consideration and which belong in the trash. Morrison doesn't stand, just nods toward the chair. "Sit." Trump sets his briefcase down, sits in the leather chair across from him. Morrison opens a file on his desk. Trump's pre-submitted preliminary application forms. There are notes on it, things crossed out in red pen. Morrison looks up, studies Trump, an evaluating look, scanning him head to toe. The suit quality, but not excessive. The watch nice, but not a Rolex. The shoes new, polished, careful attention to detail. Morrison registers all of this. Then he looks at Trump's face. Young, too young. One of the youngest applicants Morrison has ever seen. "Mr. Trump," Morrison says, his voice formal, distant. "I've reviewed your application. The Grand Hyatt project, renovation of the Commodore Hotel, 42nd Street and Lexington. Requested loan amount, $70 million. Trump leans forward. "Yes, sir. I've brought detailed plans." Morrison holds up his hand, cuts him off, politely but firmly. "Mr. Trump, before you continue, I need to ask you a few questions." "Of course. How old are you?" Trump pauses for a moment. He knows where this is going, but he doesn't lie. 29. Morrison leans back in his chair. His fingers steeple in front of his chest, the classic judgmental position. 29. He repeats, testing the word, tasting it, finding it insufficient. How many large-scale Manhattan projects have you managed before? None yet. But with my father's firm in Brooklyn and Queens, Morrison interrupts. Are not Manhattan. Trump stays calm. True, but the fundamental principles are the same. Property management, construction oversight, budget control, Mr. Trump. Morrison's voice sharpens now, not even listening. I want to be honest with you. This bank receives thousands of loan applications every year. Most of those applications are rejected. Because we don't spend money, we invest money. And investment is risky. To manage that risk, we work with experienced, proven, reliable people. Trump listens, doesn't interrupt. Lets Morrison speak. Right now, Morrison continues. Manhattan's real estate market is in crisis. Economic recession. Companies are leaving the city. Unemployment is high. Crime rates are terrible. Times Square is a disaster. 42nd Street is a complete dump. And you're asking me for $70 million to turn that into a luxury hotel. At 29 years old, with no Manhattan experience, with no serious track record, Morrison taps his finger on the desk, emphasizing each point. $70 million. Trump doesn't get defensive. Just waits. Waits for Morrison to finish. Morrison closes the file. It snaps shut with a decisive sound. A final sound. Mr. Trump, I admire you. I admire your ambition, your energy, your confidence. But to be honest, you're not ready for this project. This city, this industry, this scale, these aren't for a young man. Maybe in 10 years, when you've gained experience, when you've done some successful smaller projects, then come back. Then we'll talk. Morrison leans forward, looks Trump directly in the eyes, delivers the final blow. Mr. Trump, come back when you're serious. But for now, our answer is no. The room goes quiet. The hum of air conditioning. Traffic sounds from outside. A phone ringing somewhere in another office. Morrison watches Trump's face, waiting for his reaction. Most young people at this stage either get angry or crumble. They get defensive. They beg. They argue. Morrison has seen it hundreds of times. But Trump does none of these. He just nods, slowly. I understand, he says calmly. Not angry, not even disappointed. Just taking notes. Recording information. Trump stands, picks up his briefcase. Thank you for your time, Mr. Morrison. Morrison is slightly surprised. That easy, no argument, no protest. Trump is really leaving? Mr. Trump, Morrison says, his voice softer now, almost apologetic. It's not personal, just business. Trump turns, looks at Morrison, a slight smile on his face. I understand, he says. But Mr. Morrison, let me tell you something. In 90 days, this project will begin, with your loan or without your loan. And when it starts, every bank in this city will want to work with me. Then Chase Manhattan will want to as well. But by then, I won't be coming back. Morrison raises his eyebrows. 90 days. 90 days, Trump repeats. Then he turns, walks to the door, opens it, walks out. The door closes softly behind him. Morrison sits there, looking at the file. Trump's file. Young, inexperienced, dreamer. But there's something about that young man. Something that bothers Morrison. That confidence. That certainty. As if Trump knows something. Something Morrison doesn't. Morrison pushes the file aside. Moves to the next application. Forgets about Trump. Trump walks out of the building. Hot June air hits his face. Park Avenue is crowded. People on their lunch break. Taxis honking. Hot dog vendors shouting. Trump stops for a moment. Just stands there. Breathes. Then starts walking. Purposeful walking. Heading in a specific direction. Trump's mind is working. Fast. He's not taking Morrison's rejection personally. He sees it as an obstacle. And Trump loves overcoming obstacles. Or more precisely, going around them. That evening, Trump is in his office. A small office in his father's company building in Queens. But Trump barely uses this space. He's focused on Manhattan. The office's mess of plans, maps, numbers, notes. On the wall, a giant map of Manhattan, red markers indicating places Trump is interested in. Trump reaches for the phone, dials a number, long-distance call, takes a few minutes for the connection. Then a voice, Hyatt Corporation, Ben Lambert speaking. Ben, Donald Trump. We need to talk about the Commodore project. Ben Lambert, development director for the Hyatt hotel chain. Trump has been talking to him for months, building relationships, sharing vision. Lambert was skeptical at first, a 29-year-old man. No experience, but Trump's presentations were impressive, detailed, professional, visionary. Donald. Lambert's voice on the phone is warm, friendly. Any news from the bank? They said no, Trump states flatly. No lying, no embarrassment. Just fact. Silence on Lambert's end. Then a sigh. I see. That's tough, Donald. Maybe another bank. I don't want a bank. Trump interrupts. I need another way. Another way. Hyatt invests directly. Hyatt buys the building. My company manages construction, development, operations. Profit sharing. 50-50. Lambert pauses. Donald, this isn't conventional. Conventional isn't working. Manhattan is in a slump. Banks are frozen. But there are opportunities. Massive opportunities. The Commodore Hotel is a dump right now, but the location is perfect, right next to Grand Central. When we renovate it, it will be a luxury business hotel. It will profit. Big profit. Lambert listens, feels Trump's energy, feels his belief. Give me 48 hours, Lambert says. I need to talk to corporate headquarters. Need to go to Chicago. Present to management. 48 hours, Trump says. Thank you, Ben. Trump hangs up the phone, then dials another number. Local this time. New York City Planning Commission. Trump knows a guy there. Name is Michael Bailkin, city planner. Trump met him months ago, had coffee, talked about the city's vision. Bailkin is young, idealistic, wants to revitalize Manhattan. Michael, Donald Trump. We need to talk about the Commodore project. Can we get a tax abatement? Tax abatement. The second leg of Trump's plan. If the city gives the Commodore renovation project a tax abatement, no property taxes for 10 years, it makes the project much more attractive to investors. To Hyatt Corporation. Bailkin is hesitant. Donald, getting a tax abatement. It's difficult. There are approval processes, commissions, political pressure. Everyone's rejecting them right now. Budget crisis. But it's given for economic development, right? Trump says. Commodore is empty right now. It's not paying taxes because it has no income. If we renovate it, we're creating jobs, bringing tourism, revitalizing the area. The city wins. Bailkin stays quiet, thinking. Trump is right. The logic is sound. Prepare the file, Bailkin says. I'll present it. Can't guarantee anything, but I'll try. Trump smiles. That's all I need. A chance. The next 90 days are a mixture of chaos and controlled madness. Trump works 16 hours every day. Meetings, calls, presentations, negotiations. Little sleep, lots of coffee, infinite focus. 48 hours later, Lambert calls back. Chicago approved. Hyatt will invest. But there must be a tax abatement. Without it, the numbers don't work. Trump is already working on it. Daily meetings with Bailkin. They're preparing files, writing proposals, arranging meetings with commissions. The city's bureaucracy is slow, but Trump is persistent, knocking on every door, using every connection, presenting every argument. 30 days later, the tax abatement gets preliminary approval. Not final yet, but close enough. Hyatt Corporation signs the contract based on this approval. The partnership is official. 60 days later, the purchase is complete. The Commodore Hotel is now owned by Trump and Hyatt. Officially, press releases go out. The New York Times writes a small article in the inside pages. 29-year-old developer acquires Commodore. Not many people pay attention. Just another real estate deal. But Trump knows how to get attention. Construction begins. Crews enter the Commodore. Demolition work starts. Old, rotted rooms being cleared. Plans being implemented. Hundreds of workers daily. Noise, dust, chaos. But progress. Day 90 arrives. Trump is in his office, Queens. Sunday morning. Normally nobody works. But Trump is there. Documents on his desk, numbers, photos. The Commodore project is fully launched. Financing secured. Construction ongoing. The plan is working. Trump picks up the phone. Dials a number. Chase Manhattan Bank, not the main line, Morrison's direct office number. Nobody will answer on a Sunday morning. But Trump leaves a message. Mr. Morrison, Donald Trump, 90 days have passed. The Grand Hyatt project has begun. Without your loan, Hyatt Corporation is our partner. The city has given a tax abatement. Construction is ongoing. I told you, when it starts, every bank will want to work with me. That time is coming. Good day. Trump hangs up the phone, smiles, satisfied. Proven himself. 3 weeks later, Trump's office phone rings. His secretary answers, Mr. Trump, Richard Morrison from Chase Manhattan Bank wants to speak with you. Trump pauses for a moment. Then, put him through. The phone clicks. Morrison's voice comes through, different this time. Less authoritative, softer, almost apologetic. Mr. Trump, Richard Morrison. How are you? I'm well, Mr. Morrison. You? Good, thank you. Morrison pauses, choosing his words carefully. I read about your Commodore project in the paper. Congratulations. Impressive. Thank you. Morrison pauses again. This is difficult for him. I may have underestimated you. I apologize. Trump listens. He's winning, but he's never malicious. No problem. Mr. Morrison. Business. I understand. Chase Manhattan is interested in working with you on future projects. If you're interested, of course. Trump smiles, though Morrison can't see it. Right now I have a good partnership with Hyatt. But in the future, who knows? Maybe we'll talk. Excellent, excellent. Please, call me, Mr. Trump, anytime you want. I will. Good day, Mr. Morrison. Trump hangs up the phone, leans back in his chair. 90 days ago, Morrison kicked him out of his office. Now Morrison is calling him back, wanting him. The power balance has shifted. But Trump doesn't gloat, doesn't put other people down, just keeps moving forward. Because the Grand Hyatt is just the beginning. Trump has bigger plans for Manhattan, much bigger. Years pass. The Grand Hyatt opens in 1980. Massive success. Rooms completely booked, celebrities staying, businessmen staying, profits flowing. Trump was right. The vision worked. 42nd Street is revitalizing. The Grand Hyatt has become the catalyst. When Morrison retires in 1985, he's asked in an interview what his biggest regret is. He pauses, then says with a smile, saying no to Donald Trump. He was 29 years old. I underestimated him, but he knew more than I did. Age isn't experience. Vision is experience. And he had vision I couldn't see. Donald Trump's story isn't just a story about bank rejection. It's a story about age discrimination, about prejudice, and about proving those prejudices wrong. At 29 years old, Trump was inexperienced. That's true, but inexperience doesn't mean lack of vision. Lack of knowledge doesn't mean absence of courage. Being young doesn't mean not being ready. When Morrison looked at Trump, he saw numbers, age, years of experience, track record, and the numbers were insufficient. But Morrison didn't see the fire inside Trump, the determination, the ability to find alternative paths, the ability to see no not as a barrier, but as a guide. Trump didn't get angry at Morrison, didn't rage, didn't give up, just found another way. That's real power. When you're rejected, you don't collapse, you adapt. When the system blocks you, you go around the system. When doors close, you enter through windows. 90 days. Trump said 90 days, and in 90 days, he did it. Because Trump wasn't just talking. He already had a plan. He'd already thought through alternatives. When he went to Morrison's meeting, he was already talking to Hyatt, already building relationships with city planning. Morrison's loan would have been ideal, but it wasn't necessary. That's strategy. That's preparation. Trump didn't succeed by chance. He succeeded because he was well prepared. Years later, in 1987, Trump said in an interview, "People can tell you you're too young. They can tell you you don't have experience. They can tell you you're not ready. But none of them can decide for you. Only you can. And if you believe in yourself, if you have vision, if you're willing to work, nobody can stop you." Nobody. Now a question for you. Who told you you're too young? Who told you you're not ready? Who told you to come back when you're more experienced? And what did you do? Did you give up? Did you believe them? Or did you act like Trump, take their rejection, use it as motivation, find another way? Because life is full of Morrisons, people who reduce you to numbers, people who look at your age, your experience, your credentials. But success isn't measured in numbers. It's measured in vision, in determination, in adaptation. When Donald Trump was 29 years old, he was rejected by one of Manhattan's biggest bankers. 90 days later, that same banker was calling him back. What will your 90 days be? Whose no will you turn into a yes? The clock is ticking. Start.